I've done my top 10 albums of the year, see that video in the cards, but there have been no shortage of tracks in 2020 that have been released as singles, separate from albums, that I have also adored. So, another quick video to end this most abysmal of years, celebrating some of the better tracks to have been released as a standalone in this calendar year. Whilst the albums list will still stand as my top 10 of 2020, this video could be seen as a list of artists whose 2021 I'm excited to see. That last sentence might be edited out if I get this done before New Year's Eve, let's see. After the untimely demise of their lead guitarist and songwriter in 2016, rest in peace Tom, Architects gave themselves some time to recover and recuperate from their loss, including crafting an album very much in Tom's image, in no small part a tribute to his memory. Now, however, 4 years on, they appear to be redefining their sound and progressing on beyond what Tom gave them for so many successful years. Lost Forever, Lost Together and All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us, the last two records Tom worked on before he died, are among my favourite albums of all time. There very much will be exploring the concepts on both of them at some point, I assure you. When I first heard Animals, I have to admit that my gut reaction was negative. This isn't the Architects that I know and love. However, over the weeks and months of repeat listens, I've turned around on it. This track hits hard, right from the off. The vocal delivery, whilst different to what Sam has made a career of doing, is certainly far from bad and again grows on me by the day. I'm excited to see what more in this style there is to come from Architects, and any potential new record in 2021 will have this longtime fan all over it. Gutter King are a Canadian band that have been on my radar for a couple of years now. I have a history with acts from their homeland, including my all-time favourite band, the band whose t-shirt I'm wearing right now, Alexisonfire. Gutter King prior to this year failed to quite measure up against their countrymen in my mind, but that changed with the release of Feather. The track swings beautifully between brutalities, hitting hard with riffs and screams before breaking down with raw emotion. Wonderfully performed. It's fair to say that I've had a bit of an emo year, with everything going on both in my personal life and also the world at large. This track feeds into that mentality, speaking of sorrow and anger. Don't be put off by the angsty nature though, as I'm sure some of you are. This track is excellent, and if there's more of this to come from them, Gutter King are ones to watch. An act that first came to my attention with their 2019 release Loss, a track that would probably have topped my list had I made one, Memorist have carried on their strong start to their careers with their subsequent releases Love and Frustration. As the track titles suggest, Memorist are an act that pour focused and relatable emotion into their tracks and, coupled with excellent execution, stand as surely the best band in the world to only have 3 tracks to their name, and no release of more than a single. Love is an ode to a former flame, a lamentation of what could have been, a cry of anguish at what has been lost in hopes of a second chance. The production on this track carries it to the next level, highlighting and accenting the vulnerability and honesty in the music and lyrics. Give it a spin, tell them I sent you. You know I love myself a good slow build. Alexisonfire, my all-time favourite band, have I mentioned that already? Aren't exactly known for them, but they pulled off a masterful one earlier this year in Season of the Flood. I was jubilant when they returned in 2015, hence me wearing the shirt I bought at that gig in 2015 still today. And now that they're making music again, I'm like a kid on Christmas. If an album is to come, I'd run in circles like a happy little puppy. If all we have to look forward to is the odd single when inspiration strikes, that's excellent news too. This 7-minute monolith is an absolute belter of a track, and the way it goes up through the gears is joyously smooth, rounding off with a pounding finality that will leave an impression on even the most skeptical of listeners. But it's only my number 3, my favourite band. Who could possibly top them? This entry was a close call on two fronts. Not only could this easily have slotted into the number 1 spot, it also could have been replaced by either of Holding Absence's other 2020 singles, Beyond Belief and Birdcage. I've gone with Gravity though, perhaps only because this one has had longer to become a favourite of mine. Holding Absence has been a staple of my music taste since I stumbled across them whilst researching bands who will be performing at 2018's 2000 Trees Festival. The song I chose to listen to, Penance, legitimately changed my life with its lyrical messages, and the boys behind the music immediately shot into the front of my musical headspace. Their 2019 self-titled album is a phenomenal debut record, and with a sequel confirmed as coming soon, the future is bright not only for Holding Absence, but for me who gets to listen to it. Gravity is a typically epic track, representing struggle and hope, throwing itself down with force into the top list of 2020 tracks. Listen to this and try to resist singing along to that chorus, I dare you. Never mind of 2020, this is one of my favourite tracks of all time. I, the Mapmaker, have been in my rotation for years at this point. I'm actually friends with one of the guys on Facebook, I think because he once sold me a Holding Absence t-shirt at a gig in Leeds. That's right, for my number 1 spot, I've plumped for the number 2 band's merch guy, and justifiably so. This track is brutal in its devastation, both musically and lyrically. It haunts with its beauty, it crushes with its power. It's everything I want in a rock track. 2018's EP, Searching, was good, but Weathered takes I, the Mapmaker to a whole new level. If at some point I get an album full of tracks like this, of this quality and excellence, I'll rejoice, for the world is finally a perfect place at long last. Please, please can that happen? Listen to this song. Just do it. Leave now and do it. No outro, no Patreon plug, although I suppose that was one, whatever. Video's over, go and listen to Weathered by I, the Mapmaker now. Do it.